It's off-season in Branson. Sure, Silver Dollar City is closed, and so are several of the shows. However, there's still a lot to do in Branson during this off-season, and we're about to tell you all about it.
Right after the intro. Roll it!
All right, guys, we're going to give you 5 great reasons that you should visit Branson during the off-season of January through February. So let's go ahead and get started.
Number 1. This one's a biggie. So much less traffic.
Absolutely. If you guys have been to Branson, or maybe you haven't, then you might know and see that the Highway 76 strip, where a lot of the attractions and restaurants are, is completely packed. Sometimes you can be in standstill traffic. Sometimes you will be just barely scooting along, and it gets so frustrating. So being able to go a solid 30 miles per hour down the Highway 76 strip is so nice.
Even if it's just the little things like going to Walmart, having to sit in an hour-long traffic for that is awful.
Absolutely. And if you're trying to go somewhere, it can get so very frustrating just to sit there and sit there and sit there. So less traffic, great reason to visit Branson in the off season. And then
the lake is a little chilly during this time of year.
Just a little, actually a lot. And lake life does actually draw a lot of people into the Branson area. So without those lake operations going on, the lake fun, there's less people here. So no bumper to bumper traffic. We like that. So reason number 1, less traffic. It's a big one.
Reason number 2 kind of goes hand in hand with that. There is a lot fewer crowds.
Yes, you can tell during this time in Branson that there are just not as many people. So there's a slower pace of things. Not everyone is hustling and bustling to get around, trying to rush everywhere, trying to get somewhere. There's really a slower pace, and it's very much more leisurely and a nice thing. Yeah.
Sometimes if you're like us, you can get tired of being in those big crowds, so having a little bit of a break for them for a few months is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, so stores are also not nearly as busy. I think that that's great for people who just really adore shopping without the large crowds and people just kind of coming into your bubble in your space. So stores not being nearly as busy, it's great. I enjoy that.
Something I enjoy, as you can tell by looking at me, are the restaurants. There's no wait times. There's not that hour and a half, 2 hour, 3 hour wait time sometimes that you'll get at the landing or wherever you're going to eat at. So the restaurants are much more show up, have a good time, eat with your friends and family, move on.
And going along with that, I would say that the employees also give you more attention at the places that you visit, whether it's an attraction or it's a restaurant. Really, you get more of their attention. They get to know you a little bit better. You can ask them questions, and I feel like they have more time to answer your questions and give suggestions of their local favorites. So I really enjoy that about this off season as well.
That's when they get to know you as locals. Like if you're around here, people will start calling you by your name because they see you during the dead period, the off season. And so you really get to know those people, and that's a cool thing, and we think a lot too.
Yeah. Servers are so much less stressed, and often they serve better. So in this off season, if you're wanting to try out a restaurant that's open that maybe you haven't been to before, I think that's a great time to get the best service that you're probably looking for, because the servers can give you more attention.
The third thing kind of goes hand in hand with this as well. You can find discounted lodging, and it's way easier to find a place to stay.
Absolutely. And that can include both hotels and Airbnbs and Verbos. I found several Airbnbs, several Verbos that are way under $100 per night here in the Branson area. And whenever it is the busy season, that's really hard to find. Hotels also decrease their rates most of the time, unless it's a busy weekend, maybe like, okay, so Valentine's Day weekend, it might be a little more expensive because some people do come to Branson for Valentine's Day weekend. However, every other weekend, every other weekday during January and February, you're probably looking at a better rate for hotels, Verbos, and Airbnbs. So I think that that's a great reason to come visit Branson in January and February.
Speaking of cheaper, that brings us to point number 4. A lot of places offer discounts and ticket deals.
True. So here's the reality. If there are shows going on, they want to fill their seats. And if there are attractions that are open, which there are still a lot of indoor attractions open, they want to sell their tickets. So during this off season, when there is less of a crowd draw, they will offer local discounts. They will offer area appreciation deals. And those are things that you really need to keep your eyes out for.
So it goes back to just the old basic supply and demand. You know, right now there's a lot fewer people, so they want to get those people that are in town to make sure they stop by their place.
Yeah. And you can find a lot of these deals by going to the organization or the attractions website. And you can also follow their social media pages. And you can look to see if they're having area appreciation deals. And a lot of them do during this January and February time. And we'll post a lot of those under our community tab on our channel.
Which brings us to our next point of liking and subscribing. Make sure you click that subscribe button so you can get all the information on Branson through the Branson Fam. We are just short of that 1,000 subscriber goal that we've been looking for, and we hope you guys will help us out by clicking that button so that we can eventually join the YouTube Partner Program.
We would really appreciate that. Yeah, so the area appreciation deals, seriously, go look at their social media pages, go look at their websites. Make sure that you check that out because it's not just the Branson area that they offer those deals. It can also be to extended counties in Missouri and even into Arkansas.
And sometimes Kansas and Oklahoma as well.
That's pretty cool, pretty impressive.
The 5th thing that we're going to talk about is there are so many attractions that are still open and people don't realize just how many there are.
Yep. So we're actually going to do a little game with this. We're going to name off some of the attractions that we know are open during this time. However, we want for you to make sure that you are checking their business hours, and you can do that by either going to their website, giving them a call, or checking their social media pages, just so you can make sure that they're open during the time that you want. So we've got this long list. Paul and I are going to play a game. We're going to list off these attractions as quick as we can. If we mess up, that's when the other person has to start taking over. So if we mess up, that might be a little bit comical here. I don't know. We're going to try.
I might cheat.
Paul's in charge of the scroller, so he might try to mess with me. Okay, ready? I'm going to try to say these as fast as I can, and then Paul has to take over when I mess up. Okay. Attractions that are open in January and February. Butterfly Palace, Top of the Rock, Dogwood Canyon, Aquarium at the Boardwalk, Titanic Museum.
Titanic Museum, Fritz Adventure, Talking Rocks Cavern, Pink Jeep Tours, National Tiger Sanctuary, 1984 Arcade, IMAX, Branson Landing, Tanger Outlet, Grand Village Shops, Apple Tree Mall, Branson Craft Mall, Coral Reef Indoor Mini Golf, Beyond the Lens and FlyRide, Hollywood Wax Museum, Celebrity Car Museum, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Big Air Trampoline Park, Beck's World's Largest Toy Museum, Shepherd of the Hills, Copperhead Mountain Coaster, Ziplines, and Inspiration Tower.
You took too long on that one. Board Game Cafe, Grand Country Resort, Splash Country, and Fun Spot, Arcade City, Branson Landing, Escape Code, Veterans Memorial, Dinosaur Museum, Fun Mountain at Big Cedar Lodge, Andy B's at the Branson Landing, Branson's Wild World, College of the Ozarks and Keeter Center, Silver Anvil, Metalcraft, Worlds of Wizards, Indoor Mini Golf and Arcade. Be looking for our friend Scooter opening a business there as well. His restaurant's actually moving there, so we're hoping to be there whenever it opens, and we're really excited for that one. So all in all, there really is so much to do here in Branson in the off season. Again, that's usually during January and February and maybe a little bit into March. That's usually when the shows are going to start coming back. I believe that Silver Dollar City's opening date is going to be March 11th. We have that one memorized. So we want you guys to make sure that you're thinking about this. If you want to see less crowds, you want less traffic, you want better rates, great experiences at your attractions that you're wanting to see, and most of them are indoor attractions because it is a little chilly here. Make sure that you consider coming during January and February in the off season here in Branson.
If you guys are interested in that list that we went through very quickly, we will put it in the description below, so make sure you check that out if you're looking for something to do in Branson during this time.
And we can also include restaurants too, if that's something that you guys are interested in. You just really need to leave some comments down below so that we know what sort of things you want to know about here in Branson, whether it's in the off season or during the regular season. Ask us the questions that you have because we're locals and we're all about Branson.
Until our next adventure, fam, we'll
We'll
catch y'all later.